You're exactly right. There are a lot of geopolitical influences on supply chain decision makers and have been for some time. Looking at the Middle East today, cargo ships are still rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa, avoiding the Red Sea with the Houthi rebels. Suez Canal receipts are down 80 to 90%, and there's no less than 4 ongoing conflicts. This causes great concern for the certainty of the supply chain and how you have to do reroutes and workarounds to keep commerce flowing. But our thoughts and minds and hearts are with the people on the ground and making sure families are safe.
So layer on top of that then, the strike that we're now seeing on the East Coast ports, obviously not ideal for many, many different reasons. Are you seeing, first of all, increased traffic on the West Coast ports, your port in particular, because of what's happening here on the East Coast?
Yes, Carol, we started to see an uptick in cargo volume at the beginning of the year. People were a little bit concerned not only about a protracted dock workers negotiation, but drought conditions in the Panama Canal, in addition to those security concerns in the Red Sea. Our cargo volume is up 17% year to date, and we've had a very long peak season that began in June and still continues with some steam here now going into October. In fact, our third quarter ending yesterday is our best on record in 116 years.
Do you see that continuing into the fourth quarter, which starts today?
Typically, the month of October is met with the Golden Week holiday in China, formerly called National Day. We've got enough cargo still there at the major ports in China to profile our vessels next week. October will be strong. Then we might see a tapering off a little bit of the cargo volume, and that's seasonal, no more, no less. We're only in day one of this dock worker strike on the East Coast. No impacts on the ground that we see today, but the next 48, 72 hours will be crucial.
How do you expect, Gene, dock workers on the West Coast, in West Coast ports, to stand in solidarity with their counterparts on the East Coast? Will they refuse to unload freight diverted from East Coast ports?
We have not had any ships that are designated for East or Gulf Coast ports make a left-hand turn and come into Los Angeles. And we're watching that very closely because my experience says that that is sacrosanct between these two working unions. One will not take advantage of another's bargaining position and move ships around. What you have seen are cargo owners that try to hedge against occurrences like this and maybe put a little bit more of their allocation towards West Coast ports, including Los Angeles and Long Beach, that otherwise would have gone to the East Coast. We also saw that last year as our negotiations with the dock workers here with the ILWU went a little bit longer than some experts expected, and we saw some of our discretionary cargo, that which goes to the middle part of the country, move to those eastern ports.